Welcome to today's presentation on childhood obesity. As many of you are already aware, childhood obesity is a growing concern throughout our nation. The Center for Disease Control reports that 1/3 of America's children are considered overweight or obese. Alarmingly, this number has tripled since 1980. Research suggests the two main causes for this increase are directly linked to lack of physical activity and increase in poor food choices. My first main point is that school systems are the primary place children should receive their physical activity. However, many physical activity programs are not efficient. Lynn reports that school-aged children should receive at least 60 minutes of physical activity daily. However, many physical education programs are much less than the 60 minutes recommended. As you can see, Figure 1 shows the percentage of high school students participating in physical activity and physical education classes, reported by the CDC. 18% of females and 38% of males report receiving the adequate amount of 60 minutes of physical activity each day. However, 27% of females and 34% of males report being enrolled in a physical education class. This being said, many school officials feel the responsibility should be placed on the parents to ensure their child is receiving enough physical activity. They feel their main focus should be on academics. School officials feel parents should act as role models to ensure their children maintain an active lifestyle. They should encourage such activities as basketball, soccer, and baseball, and discourage sedentary activities such as video games, computer use, and television use. My second main point is increase in sugary beverages and fast food is a leading cause in this increase in obesity. Keller reports that many children gain between 6 to 10 pounds each year on fast food alone. CBS News reports that 1/3 of America's children aged 4 to 19 eat fast food daily. Sadly, Kasperian reports many parents lack the education knowledge on proper nutrition. In conclusion, childhood obesity is a growing concern throughout the nation. Parents and school officials alike need to act together to develop strategies and programs to decrease obesity and increase physical activity. That concludes today's presentation on childhood obesity. Thank you for your time. Are there any questions?
Yes, I have one.
Yes, ma'am.
What are some of the long-term health effects of childhood obesity?
That is a very good question. In case anyone didn't hear her, she asked what are some of the long-term health effects on childhood obesity. To answer your question, there are many long-term effects. They may not be prevalent at first, but being obese through the majority of your life can lead to heart disease, sleep apnea, the development of type 2 diabetes, and other endocrine and hormonal imbalances. Are there any other questions?
Yes, I have one. Do predetermined genetics play a role in increasing the chances of childhood obesity?
That is another great question. She asked, do predetermined genetics increase the risk of childhood obesity? You are correct. Predetermined genetics play a huge role in increasing the risk of being obese. As many of you probably can observe, children who come from families where one or both parents are obese have an increased likelihood of being obese themselves. The Center for Childhood Obesity reports there are certain hormone factors that affect how you metabolize food and hormones that affect your metabolic rate. So yes, it is directly linked to genetics. Are there any other questions?
Can physical activity help improve academic performance?
Another great question. Yes, Kelly, physical activity can help increase academic performance. Studies show from the Center of Disease Control that by being physically active, it increases the blood flow to the brain. This increases test scores in math and science. It's a very good question. Are there any other questions? Well, Well, that concludes today's presentation on childhood obesity. You have been a wonderful audience. I greatly appreciate your time.